Okay, y'all. First and foremost, give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and His Son, the Hamashiach, who some call you Yeshua, Yahusha, uh, Yahushua. We mostly know as Jesus Christ. I know we're a little late on this thing, but of course, I was watching and just couldn't get to it because of work and getting a lot of stuff, trying to catch up on some things. But we are gonna go through it. Now we gonna try to just scan through it, and I'm just giving y'all the details. If you don't know and you haven't watched the video I did like a month ago, it came out that our brother, the leader of Sicarii Israelites, chief priest, Guerilla Hebrew, Alazar, one of his wives or two of his wives have come out, and really three of them, and there are receipts of him ordering certain little toys and stuff to play with, that in places men shouldn't be playing with them kind of toys. Also giving one of his wives over, or trying to get multiple wives, trying to get them because of this fantasy pleasure in his head. I think they said it was cupping or something like that. That he wanted one of his, he tried it with both of his wives, or two of them, for them to go and engage in sexual activities with a white man. That was his fantasy. And he was setting these profiles up. One of the sisters actually did it. He said it wasn't done, and we're gonna talk about that because it's not in this video. But coming up to date on things, giving you a little, of what you can be looking forward to, is that he did do it with one of the sisters, and he needs to repent for lying. He's repent for a lot of things. And I'm gonna tell you, brothers too, man. Y'all don't really love that brother, man, because he has an addiction. He has a sickness, and he really does need help. He don't need counsel from no elders from another camp. No, he needs a 24-step program. He needs abstinence. All right, he needs to be pulled away from his drug, from his vice. And he's sick. It's a sickness that he has on him. And it may get treated. It may need to be treated that way. As a sickness or as a hand. Y'all know I told y'all, man, my mom deals with substance abuse since I've been born. And I'm still, I still deal with my mom, almost on a daily basis. But I remember, wow, she done been in program after program after program because my stepdad was retired military. So she also has the retired military benefits. So you can imagine someone that suffers from substance abuse, but also gets a military check every month from a disabled veteran that had 100%. Y'all know, the kind of money that is. It's not good, but she can maintain herself. She can keep a house, keep a car, but also get involved into, to the substance abuse. But I remember her telling me, in and out of programs, the military try to take care of. She can go to any program she wants to whenever she wants to. The military will take care of that. But anyway, I'm only saying that to say that I remember one time she was in a program, and they were telling her that it was a sickness. She also gets a check for that. She get a check for being a crackhead. Because it's like a mental illness. It's a sickness. I guess if you go through the certain steps, and and go into these programs, and get evaluated, it may be a point where you done did the drug so long that it really ain't no comeback. You know what I'm saying? But she does come out clean. She came out clean a few years ago. And had stacked up a good chunk of money, but once she got out, got situated, got her license, and got our house, then she got bored and went back to what she knows, and she is single old lady. Well, she ain't. Well, yeah, she's a single elderly woman, not old lady, but an elderly woman, and she gets lonely, whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? But there are certain things you have to understand yourself. You have to understand your sickness. You can't be moving around here like you're not sick. And you can't have people around you pretending like you're not sick, that you don't have an addiction. And he does admit this, and that this came from doctrinal things that came from GMS. And I got to go back and watch that, but I'm going to go ahead and redo it. I got to unload some of the stuff that I've seen recently. But I'm going to unload because I see GMS, one of the GMS brothers, do a video like, we are not to blame. But GMS and them brothers, he was probably teaching it too. He said he don't teach it now, but that porn is okay, and that prostitution, paying for prostitutes, is okay. I told you they teach these secret doctrines that you'll have to ask them. You have to put them in a corner for them to actually say that that's what they're teaching in there. All right. But anyway, let me go ahead and let this thing roll. Well, yeah, the one of the sisters came out, exposed them. Again, then it came out that another sister, he gave one of the ribs. He was out here doing this stuff. He ordered this pegging kit for himself. The sister came out. He ended up giving her to this white dude. And the white dude she ended up marrying the white, not marrying him, but she ended up having a child by the white dude. And he still says that this is his wife. So that thing kind of backfired. But again, we'll bring that stuff back up. I got stuff clipped up, but I was just trying to give y'all a little of the craziness that has went on. It's even crazier. It's even crazier than that. Some things came up about STDs. I haven't heard him say anything about that yet. I haven't watched everything though, but it's worse than you think. If you stop the first video I did and some of that stuff we was bringing out, it's even worse than that. But this here that we're finna go over today is about the finances. All right, because there's another sister. There's about 6 or 7 sisters throughout this thing, especially when we do the video. And that's probably be the video next is the conversation from the wife, from one of the wives that brought the information out. And his sister says she's alleged that she's in a shelter now with 2 of his kids. But we're gonna talk about the finances today because the brother Ariala brought out some receipts that 20. Well, he gave one of the sisters. It's so much, y'all. He gave one of the sisters, I think one of his newest wives, out close to $50,000 in a year, or a little over a year. And Ariala's making the claim, alleging that you pay her that money with tithe money. That is tithe money that you gave her. And we'll get into that too. I think I got a couple of clips of that too. We'll show that too. Not on this video though, but the girl was on on Instagram, just going in on them. Oh, you just a trick and you ain't nothing and da 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 and woo de woo. And then come to find out that same sister has her OnlyFans. And you're like, oh well, she only got 2 pictures on that da 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 da. But you just gotta think about the mentality of a sister that opened up her OnlyFans and a sister that is calling you a trick. But that's you, her wife, and he's saying, well, she only saying that because I stopped giving her money. Well, yeah, that's because you stopped being a trick. That's the relationship. And they know the psychology. They know how to how to squeeze the juice out of Joker, man. You know, they have to fight it. They have to fight it. Not to slap you or cuss you out. But they don't really like you like that. But they got to play the game. They got to play the role. $50,000 a year she done squeezed out you. She's a legend. And brother showed the receipts of the brother cash apping what he says is his wife. And you know, it's only one of these sisters alleged that is in the that walks into this Hebrew Israelism. Other sisters may show up at some of these feast days, but they'll just play the role. But on their day to day, they ain't dealing with none of that stuff. They not sitting in no classes. They out here, you know, being worldly. So you know, that's what's been alleged. But go ahead and let this thing play and get y'all on point. We're just dealing with the finances and brother saying, well, you know, you're doing all of this with the tithe money, with the money of the church, or not the church, of the camp.
How, like, if there's death, how is there no more tears and no?
And this is a video again. I clipped it from a video I did a while ago in response to him doing a video where we had a little debate or dialogue, and he ended up doing a couple classes on the dialogue after. So he was still trying to doing the class, trying to show that I didn't know what I was talking about celestial bodies and no relations in the kingdom.
More crying, like, come on, man. And I don't think I said this is the first time I ever heard a camp say this, you know. But watch this right here. Hassad cries out.
Trees laden with diverse fruits.
Those 12 trees laden with diverse fruits. Those are those 12 tribes, right? So that's that fruit that's being produced. The 12 tribes having babies. Remember, it says in Deuteronomy 28, blessed be the fruit of our body.
It's crazy to go to Deuteronomy to see heaven, to describe heaven. Like Deuteronomy 28, he's trying to use that to describe heaven, to say that applies to heaven. That we gonna be out there tilling and the ground gonna be blessed. And we gonna be out there, we gonna be dealing with money and our pockets are gonna be, come on, y'all. And that's why we got to do this video on, you know, basically we need some principles, some hermeneutic principles of how to exegete the text. Just throwing timelines out the window and you grabbing stuff from here, and yeah, man, you know, I keep saying that, but I gotta get to it. It's a 25-minute video that I got clipped up that, you know, it's gonna take some time.
We having babies in that kingdom, man. Enjoying.
We having babies now. If Israel ain't doing nothing else, they're having babies.
And the hell out of them. Let's get Proverbs 3:13. You mean to tell me, you talking about glorified bodies, and you mean to tell me?
Oh, hold on, that ain't what I wanted. That ain't what I wanted. But we'll read it anyway.
That there's some paradise out there. All right, cover the kids' ears. There's some paradise out there that doesn't include sex. Hey, look, call me carnal. I can't.
You see Hassad laughing? That was a good little chuckle right there. I ain't hear much laughing in the class either.
Body language, you know, we gotta watch body language. Them chuckles are a defense mechanism. So social reflex.
All right, cover the kids' ears. There's some paradise out there that doesn't include sex. Hey, look, call me.
And this says a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot in this statement.
I said it's a lot in that statement that you just said. And you know what that told me at that moment? That he's dealing with some kind of sexual perversion. That's what it told me. Now, could I say that then? No, I couldn't say that. I couldn't just say it. And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, and that's, I can hear sometimes what people don't want me to hear. And that's why I don't have a lot of conversations with everybody. And especially leadership within Israel, because I'm going to hear things that I don't want to hear. Like when I heard that, it was disappointing when I heard him say that, because of what I knew from him saying that.
It's a lot in there, man. Wow, look at this. I can't believe it. Like, wow.
Disappointing.
It's a lot. It's a lot in this statement.
There that doesn't include sex. Hey, look, call me.
And it says a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot in this statement. It's a lot in there, man. Wow, look at this. I can't believe it. Like, wow.
You mean to tell me, you talking about glorified bodies, you mean to tell me that there's some paradise out there, all right? Cover the kids' ears. There's some paradise out there that doesn't include sex. Hey, look, call me carnal. I can't receive it. I can't receive it. Tell me, you talking about glorified bodies, you mean to tell me that there's some paradise out there, all right? Cover the kids' ears. There's some paradise out there that doesn't include sex. Hey, look, call me carnal. I can't receive it. I can't receive it.
Thou says.
Thou says, and now we know you cardinal. Now we know for a fact that you're cardinal. You just gotta pray for the brother, man. But you gotta know you sick. You gotta go get help. And I ain't talking about no darn elders in Israel counseling. How they gonna counsel you? They ain't never dealt with that. How they gonna counsel you? What I'm gonna tell you, I ain't got nothing to tell you about that sickness except you gotta go get help. I ain't never had that kind of fantasy, somebody else smashing my wife. Never had no fantasy like that. Or smashing my girl.
Now it's starting to sound like Christianity. Go ahead.
And then I
Peep the laugh.
look at Sai, he ain't laughing at all.
Peep the laugh.
All praise to the Most High, man. Now Chief done tricked the ties. Man, it's absolutely incredible. The lengths that people are going to at this point. I guess my little trip to Mexico last week, man, I guess it really ruffled some feathers.
He said his little trip to Mexico last week really ruffled some feathers. That was another allegation, using the tithe money to go on vacation. We've heard that before, haven't we? And that's what I'm telling y'all. It's just flesh. And you got to understand where it's too much temptation for your flesh. That you don't have your flesh disciplined enough to be in these kind of situations. To be in a situation where the tithe money is going into the same account as your account. As your personal account. And now you got hundreds of thousands of dollars in an account. And nobody can really trace if you spending the money like that or not. And Pete too. We still don't know why Deacon in Genesis in Hassad, formed Genesis, and that brother Debar They formed Gabarium something. Shalaki, I ain't trying to be offend, trying to offend. I can see.
All praise to the Most High, your brother Guerilla Hebrew, man. So here's good old Shaw Ariella, one of my little kids, man. He just did a video of Guerilla Hebrew's wife.
Yeah, it does have a little profanity in here, like the A word used a few times at the end of this thing. So you may not want to be playing this out loud.
Exposing him for being a trick with cam ties. You see her look good and see her looking better than any woman Ariela's ever even had the privilege to talk to in his whole life. But it's all right because I'm not dealing with her no more.
Like a woman called you a trick and said she was just using you for your money. But you point at the picture still, man, look at my girl looking fine, and basically I still love her. It's almost like that. Y'all used to listen to that Project Pat. I might be giving my age a little bit, but was it Project Pat? I think it's on the Project Pat album, on the Get It Green album. Man, I'm a man. I love her though, man. Yeah, I caught my woman cheating at the He's like, man, you need to let her go, man. I ain't gonna let her go. I love her, man. I love her. Don't Save Her. It was the intro to the song called Don't Save Her. She don't wanna be saved. Don't save her. See, a lot of y'all young folks don't have music today that can give you some understanding on how to stay out of these kind of situations and how to recognize game. That she's just there for that. Back in my wicked days when I used to go, I actually used to work at this club called Pinups. I used to clean it up after, and that kind of killed my whole strip club thing. But I used to go, back, before the truth and all of that, before I woke up. And but I always understood it's just game. I'm not finna, they here to do a job. That's it. Now, if you spend enough money, and I know this for a fact because I used to clean it up. I know this for a fact because I've been in the VIT. I've seen the wrappers on the floor. I've seen the condoms on the floor. I've been in the locker rooms. Had to clean up the girls' locker rooms. And that's a very disgusting place. And those girls who are around that, they have built up a different mentality. And if you continue to frequent those places, you burn out your receptors. Just like I was talking about the security guards that are in there. They don't get off on them girls like that. They done seen it every day, all night. Every day. Same old. It ain't, after a while, it ain't, or the DJ. After a while, he's there to make them get money so they can, they can pay out at the end of the night or pay before. I know you had to pay the door, you had to pay the house, and then you had to pay the DJ, depending on the club. But anyway. No, I don't have to tip out the bar.
She just mad I cut the water off. That's why the other one mad too, but that's a whole other story.
And he's saying they just mad because they cut the water off. Basically, he stopped giving them money and they got mad. Brother, that's a trick. Let me hear it from his mouth again. She just mad because you did what?
It's all right because I'm not dealing with her no more. She just mad I cut the water off. That's why the other one mad too, but that's a whole other.
Both of them mad because I just stopped giving them money. That sound like a trick. That sound like the relationship. You give her money, she like you. You don't give her money, she ain't really messing with you like that.
Story. So I really don't care what Ariana has to say. I've already reacted to this earlier. Y'all seen the video, but Ariana, he did something so bad right here. He disrespected my wallet. He disrespected my Navy Federal bank account. And I won't stand for that. So what he demonstrated,
out of all the stuff that he done brought out, you worry about him disrespecting your bank account. Because I'm a boss.
in that video that I really take umbrage to is he showed the spreadsheets accounting for 2022's tithes and 2023's tithes, which is a combined $169,000. 72,000 in 2022 and 96,000 in 2023. Now again, the allegations are that I'm stealing and running off with camp tithes. Now, I want y'all to do some math. In 24 months, $169,000. If you divide that by 24, that's $7,000 a month. My own personal bills, not counting my expenses, is $8,000 a month minimally, if not more, right? And has been since back there. That's number one. Number two, the school in Atlanta's bills cumulatively are about $3,000 a month. So if the camp paid $7,000, almost half of that is going just with the Atlanta school. Not to mention all the money that goes out to help brothers in need, things of that nature. All the things that this work out, only $7,000 a month, right? Again, the amount of tithes paid is not enough to pay my personal bills. It's not. But now I have to show everybody. I have to show everybody that this camp, I said half of this camp ain't paid tithes. The fact is, now that we actually are looking at the numbers that he produced, thank you so much for showing those numbers to everybody, Ariella. Not even a third of this camp has been paying tithes appropriately. So we require $100 a month and or 10%, or not and or 10%, whichever is greater, right? So at a base level, that's $20,000 to $30,000 that should be being paid in tithes every month.
All right. He says that they have about, at one point they had about 300 members. All right. And to join his camp, it was required that you pay at least $100 a month or 10%, basically tithes. But brothers, because they done banged on the church so much, they try to reword it. But the reality is you need money to run an organization. So you gotta ask for bread. Just point blank, period. And that's what I say, we end up putting our foot in our mouth on a lot of things doctrinally until we start running our organization, or until we start getting as big as the church. You're gonna see that these people, the bigger they get, they're gonna be more like the church. They're gonna say, oh well, I mean, and they find themselves in these same predicaments. Because ultimately it's just the flesh. It don't even matter about what you're teaching and what doctrine it is. These brothers are falling into sin because of the flesh, and because of too the power that being a camp leader, being a big influencer. Like I said, he's probably one of the biggest influences within Israelism. Nobody, you see how you got that cap on? Nobody was wearing a cap when I came in, including him. He brought that doctrine out, and I think it came through him. My brothers can say whatever they want to, but that's what I seen. And a lot of brothers start picking it up from him. And so when you see brothers wearing hats out there and having their head covered, that I think that can be written in Israelite history. I don't know what year it was. But hey, brother, you could tell me that year. Alazar, tell me the year, and we need to document that. The year of the hats. Document, where Guerilla Hebrew brings in his doctrine. But the brother's very influential within the community. And that's why this thing is spreading like wildfire. So many people doing videos, so many people tuning in for a lot of the stuff that has his name on it. But 300 people, and let's just say the minimum, because he's saying you're supposed to pay tithes. So if you're making $2,000 a month, you're making $24,000, which is basically, that's basically minimum wage. You should be giving $200. $200 a month. You should be giving 100. But let's just say with the 100 and you have 300 people. All right, the 100. Just say 100 people. 300 people giving $100. That's $30,000 a month. That's going into the brother's account. But he's saying not even a third paid. That's what he's saying. Let me continue going.
As we're required, everybody who enters the camp reads the bylaws and agrees to contribute that amount. But clearly we see if 200 to 300 men only produced 72 and 96,000 instead of 250,300,000 in that year, their brothers wasn't doing their part. We didn't reprimand brothers. We didn't kick brothers out. We didn't curse brothers out about those things. We just encouraged brothers to do it. So what actually would happen is I would have to go into my own personal pockets to fund a lot of things for the camp. But don't worry, y'all. I'm going to prove it, man, because I definitely don't appreciate my bank account being disrespected. I can disrespect a lot about Ariella. I can talk about that girl over there who he starved. Right? Maybe now you're showing everybody you're cooking for, right? Because she's pregnant. But
he's saying that, he had the sister doing fast just to try to help her lose weight. And he said he got the counsel. He did the counsel on that. Brothers is and brother, you gonna have to get in there with her. You gonna have to encourage her. You got to figure that out. But trying to force somebody to be on a fast, that ain't, because they'll fast 1 day or 2 days and then, start eating like a monster. Like that thing starts here. And I'm trying to tune mine back up. I'm trying to get mine together, but it starts here. It starts here, man. I can have a good day at the gym. I can have a good couple days going to the gym, and then I go right back. I go right back to the filth, man. I go wallow right back into the mud. Go a couple days eating vegan, then I wallow back. Oh man, I forgot I got some watermelons in the car, man. Paid $10, $20 for 2 watermelons. And it was just because it was the first season. It's the first watermelons I seen. I don't even know if they're gonna be too good. But anyway, sorry about that. But it starts in the mind. It ain't, you can't force it on nobody. It's a mental thing. And you gotta, like the text tells you, you gotta reform your mind, right? Transform your mind, metamorpho. I think that's the word in Greek. But anyway, which means, metamorph, transform. And that happens by what you're meditating on. You got to have her meditating, even yourself, even myself, this new meditating on, things dealing with fitness, things dealing with good health, reading good vegan recipes, good trying to prep some meals, edifying yourself on the subject, and getting your mind ready, breaking up the fallow ground of your mind so that fitness seed can be planted. Anyway, let me keep going. Yeah, I'm tired. That's why I'm kind of.
You can talk about those forced fasts you used to put her on, of course, because you are conscious about her weight. We understand those things, right? But I ain't finna do that, right? Because everybody know everything on my team is ice cold. Come on, baby, looking good as fuck though.
Everybody on his team. When he says his team, means his wives. All his wives bad.
Yeah, my bitch look good as fuck, don't she?
And then, I ain't y'all already know, like, come on, y'all. Who doing that? And then he's talking about the same sister that called him a trick and all of that. But like I say, y'all, we gonna let this thing play out. Y'all willing to get up in the morning and we'll do a continuation on this thing.
Feel me, just did this line. I look good as hell. She got mad at me, called me bald. She balder than me, but we love her. She look good in the motherfucker. Period, right? But let's just go here, right? You see this? Let's go here. What's it say? Navy Federal Credit Union. Mr. Adonis C. Glaude. Yeah, that's me. So coincidentally enough, On the website, I can only go back to January 2022. So I've downloaded all the bank statements for the years in question, 2022 and 20.
Now, what did we say about the tithes? We said if 100 people, if 300 people donate $100 a month, that's $30,000 a month. And this is what I'm saying. It's very easy. We really have no excuses. What you mean you can't give $100 a month? And it's just 300 of us. That's not a large number of people. And this is one of the largest camps. And this is what I'm telling you. If this Israelism in whole is not a lot of people. I doubt if it's 10,000 altogether. I doubt that. I doubt if ISUPK is 1,000 members. I doubt that. I doubt IUIC has 7,000. And they the largest. I feel like they the largest. But I doubt it. But this thing is very small. And there's a lot of cities, I do garments for people all over the country. And I have people messaging me all the time about, do you know anybody in this city? Yeah, do you know anybody? I know I had like 3 people ask me about Jackson. I had to link them up with each other. All right, well, this brother right here, he asked me about Jackson too.
23. Now we're gonna. So I got my.
And then sometimes, brothers, y'all gonna have to travel. You just gonna have to travel. You're gonna have to get on the Greyhound. You're gonna have to, you got to link in with folks sometimes. You gotta do what you can if you want to be. But I suggest you just keep watching on YouTube, man, till you get yourself built up and watch everybody. All right, watch everybody and question everything. Every single thing, question it. Challenge it. See if it holds up. Put it through the furnace.
Trusty mathematician right here, his name is Nakamaya. Maybe you've heard of him. Chief Officer Nakamaya, an amazing brother. Let's just take a look at, do some math, and let's see how much money I brought in 2022 and how much of that was tithe money, right? For everybody, this is going to dispel all the lies that I'm doing misappropriation of camp funds, that I'm running off, that I'm living off the tithe money, etc. We're getting ready to dispel all of that madness now, right? Bank statement for bank statement. How much I bring in January 20? Over 20,000. So put 20K, right? January 2022, right? Make sure you zoom it in on.
So he said it should range between 20 and 30K is what he said.
Deposits. Right, 20,000. Okay, 20,000. This February 2022. Right, hold on. Make sure we see it. End date 2/15/2022. 20K. Okay, cool. March 35K. Okay, cool. April 18K. Okay, cool. May 37K. Okay, cool. June 25K. Okay, cool. July 19K. Okay, cool. August 25K. Okay, cool. September 27K. Okay, cool. October 27K. Okay, cool. November 26K.
It's all ranging between 20 and 30,000. And this is the thing you should have did. Don't show what's hitting your bank account. All you have to do, because brother was saying, well, I did this, and you got to go to Chief Dome. Go to Chief Dome and go to Shar Ariala, and you can catch up and see all of this stuff and all the different videos. But you should have just showed your W-2s if you got a job, or you don't have a job and you selling merch. Say you selling merch doing drop shipping, like you're not making the merch, and call me. I might could do some drop shipping for you, and maybe get you some more of your money, because I know with that drop shipping, they're taking a majority of the money. And I just, just for me knowing Israel, man, and selling merch in Israel, it ain't a lot of money. And I don't see your merch a lot. I don't see a lot of chief merch around the community. But you know, who knows? Anybody could be buying it. But show the 1099. Show your 1099 from YouTube and your Google AdSense. And I've watched, you know, I've been watching the brother over 10 years. And I knew that was tithes that was coming in sometimes on those. I felt that was, but maybe it was for something else. But I see a lot of people would donate $100, $100, $100, $100, $100. It'd be like $700 donations up there. And I said, oh, well, that's the brothers paying tithe. And I want y'all to get this too, that it's nothing wrong with brothers living off of tithes as a leader. But it should be, what's the word I'm looking for? Everything should be seen. It's translucent. Is it translucent? That may not be the word I'm looking for. I think so, though. Hold on. Let me look it up, y'all. I told y'all I'm tired. Yeah. All right. And people should be able to see all the details, see the money coming in. And they should assign that pastor or that leader a wage. You know, and this is what the church does. Like that church, New Birth, they hired, New Birth has a board, a committee that hired Jamal Bryant to be their pastor. And I think he said it he gets $250,000. He gets $250,000 a year. He's making about what Hebrew chief priest making, but he has 300. Jamal Bryant probably has 30,000 members in that church, but it's not his church. Oh, he's hired. He gets a fee. There may be some other perks within that. They may have bought him a house, took care of the house and the bills or something. You know, they know how to juice it and make it look a certain way for tax purposes. Well, they 501c. But anyway, they doing. Yeah, I'm sure. Jamal Brown's a big figure, so that's not a lot of money for him. I don't think that's enough money for him. But he's probably getting it another way. But he does have a podcast. He was on reality shows and so forth. But just like in let me get that 1 Corinthians 9:5. I'm gonna read it in the NLT if y'all don't mind. I'll just start at verse 1. He says, am I not as free as anyone else? 1 Corinthians 9, verse 1. He says, am I not an apostle? Haven't I seen Jesus our Lord with my own eyes? Isn't it because of my work that you belong to the Lord? Even if others think I am not an apostle, I certainly am to you. You yourselves are proof that I am the Lord's apostle. This is my question to those who question my authority. See, and this is the same today. A lot of people, especially within this community, question Paul's authority, just like they did back then. So you know it's a real book. And this is how you know whose side you on. This is you know these individuals. And this brother here is one of these leading brothers who brought this document in. They brought this doctrine in of questioning, well, not just him, because he learned it from GMS, questioning Paul's authority. Don't we have the right? Watch what he says. He said, don't we have the right to live in your homes and share your meals? Don't we have the right to bring a Christian wife with us, as the other apostles and the Lord's brothers do, and as Peter does? Or is it only Barnabas and I who have to support ourselves? What soldier has to pay his own expense? What farmer plants a vineyard and doesn't have the right to eat some of his fruit? What shepherd cares for a flock of sheep and isn't allowed to drink some of the milk? I am expressing merely a human opinion. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I expressing merely a human opinion, or does the law say the same thing? For the law of Moses says you must not muzzle an ox to keep it from eating as it treads out the grain. Was God thinking only about the oxen when he said this? Was he actually speaking to us? Yes, it was written for us. And we have to dissect the text like that. We have to look at things and say, you know what, when he wrote that, was he speaking to us? Or was he just speaking? What can we glean from that? What kind of lesson can we learn from what was told to Elijah? What was that? You know, is it there to increase our faith? Is it there for instruction? Is it there just narrative to move the story along? What can we get from that? He says, yes, it is written for us, so that the one who plows and the one who threshes the grain might both expect a share of the harvest. Anyway, but I think it should be, I'm still questioning that translucent. But it should be clear. It should be open. Everybody should see those numbers. All right, should see the numbers that's coming in, to see how much we're giving to the leader, to see how much the bills are, to see what's being covered. And then that can encourage people to give. Because look, we ain't getting enough in here. We're not it's not enough money coming in here. And he's finna say that. Watch this.
Okay, cool. December, 43K. Okay, cool. So now, what's that total? 302,000. That year, the camp only paid 72,000 in tithes. So that means that camp tithes wasn't even a third of the money that I made in the year of 2022. So how am I stealing the camp tithes if everything for the camp was taken care of with the amount of tithes paid, and I lived off of how much more thousand? 230,000? That's how much was left over of camp tithes. $250,000. If all I made was 72,000 in 2022, I wouldn't even have electricity in my house, pimp. Who are you talking to? Don't listen. And I hate to do this, but I have to, because now, I built an organization to facilitate men to do the work of the Lord, and niggas are playing like I'm running some racket or scam as if I need this.
And all I'm saying is you could just show your 1099 and show where the money came from. This came from GorillaUrban.com. Here's the PayPal. That money goes to PayPal. That money don't come to, they ain't going to your Cash App. But you can show that. You can show your PayPal. They gonna send you a 1099 also. So I think that's the best way to clear that up. Rather than, showing that you put that money in that same account like that, and it has brothers feeling some kind of way, thinking that, man, you misusing the funds. And we also going to talk about Sons of Thunder and the House of Saints. We also going to talk about that. It's also alleging a misappropriation of funds while they split. And, I think that it also is a dealings with Deacon and why they split. But, they didn't want to say. Maybe they'll say a couple years later from now. And they may air it out, but all we can do is speculate at this point.
I can account for over 200 on my other wife. That's 280, and that still ain't half the money. Then add the camp money on that, and I still got 200,000 left over. The fuck is nigga? Don't listen, bro. But don't worry, Playmakers coming to Guerilla TV. We're gonna show you niggas how to get to a bag, man, and stop.
Guerilla TV, you can watch Playmakers, and he can teach you how to get money. But all you had to do is show me that 1099. Show me that W-2. Show me them taxes. And I pray that you got your paperwork in order. And I'm going to tell you another problem with this. You showing this money and so forth. That sister probably going to put you on child support, bro. It's a good chance she going to put you in child support. I'll get to my other opinions on what I think that sister may do. But I think it's a good chance you're going to be put on child support. stuff like this, man, these videos and stuff like this, and you putting out the numbers that you bringing in hundreds of thousands of dollars, just take that to court on you. Take that to court on you. She got 2 kids with you, brother, and she want to be a house. She want to stay at home. She want to be a stay at home mother. And you make enough for her to do that, for her to go down to that legal system, and get enough money so she can stay at home. So be mindful of that, man. You putting this information out here and saying that you made this money and it didn't come from the camp, and that you made it. You're making $300,000 a year. That could be damaging to you in child support. And if she mess around and wins, somebody else may take you to child support too. Be mindful of that. Be careful.
Stop being little bum ass hating ass niggas like Ariella over there, man. Who girl make more than him? Boy, stop and talking to me, man. And you niggas over there.
I heard that brother laughing in the background. And then the sister said that there was some brothers that stay with him also. I wonder if that's one of the brothers.
Philly, shout out Prestige Way Design for these fresh ZZs, man. You niggas over there in Philly standing next to that weak ass nigga ought to be ashamed of yourself. Y'all supposed to be thorough street niggas.
I thought we supposed to be righteous. Thorough righteous, set apart. Why we still messing with the streets? Why are we still trying to be connected with the streets?
Real street niggas, and y'all gonna stand next to this sweet ass liar?
Says sheesh. Yeah, so there's nothing wrong with that, man. But the body should understand, should see everything and transparent. Why y'all let me sit up here and say translucent? Transparent. Everything needs to be transparent with the body. And salute to IUIC. I remember it was years ago. They said, hey, they came together and said, man, we gonna retire Bishop Nathaniel. But Bishop Nathaniel was still working every day. Building up IUIC. Still working. And at this point they were still pretty big at this point. We probably had over 1,000 members. And he was still working. Had schools in a couple different places. He's still working. So salute to him, salute to that body. They said, hey, you know what? We're gonna retire our leader. We gonna let him, we gonna give him a salary, and he's gonna, and that's how things, and he does have treasurers. You have to put treasurers in place. And it ain't just one, it's a couple people. Even my dad used to count the money at the church when I was growing up. And they'd be the last ones to leave. But before they leave, they paying everybody getting their cut. And it's like it was like 3-4 of them in there that counted the money and made sure that everybody didn't get too tempted and mess around and take some of that bread. It brings the temptation down. If it's just one person in there, that could tempt an individual, tempt someone, or tempt a sister or a brother to, take a little bit of that money and put it in their pocket. But we got to understand that. We're going to be talking about that more and more. But that's the end of it, y'all. I pray this thing was edifying. Y'all be blessed. Shalom.